Welcome to the She Wins podcast. I'm your host, Heather Sumlin, and today I have London Hibbs. She was Miss America's Outstanding Teen in 2019, recently graduated from UCLA, still living in LA. We get to catch up with her. What is she up to? What is her advice for you if you're competing, and more. London, I'm so excited to talk to you today. Can you tell everybody a little bit about you, your background, and whatnot?
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here. So my name is London Hibbs. I am a Texas native, now living in LA. I was Miss America's Outstanding Teen back when it was the Outstanding Teen program in 2019, after having won Miss Dallas Outstanding Teen and Miss Texas Outstanding Teen. And in June, I just recently graduated from UCLA with the scholarship money that I won from the Miss America opportunity, with a degree in vocal performance and a minor in music industry. And I love my time at UCLA. I was on the cheer team. I was really involved with the choral and opera departments. And now I'm working in LA as a radio programmer and a freelance musician still as well. And I'm just so excited to talk to you more. I'm really passionate about empowering women and making young girls feel as ready and prepared to take on the world as they could be.
So I just have to ask this one question. Are you going to compete again?
You know, everybody loves to ask me this question, and I wish I had a more clear answer, because it's definitely an organization that's super near and dear to my heart. And I think what conflicts me the most is that I just love my Texas family so much. I mean, they truly were my people all throughout high school, all throughout that experience. And competing in a different state, I just don't know if it would feel the same. So right now, while I'm kind of figuring out if I'm going to pursue grad school for my music career and where I might be traveling to or moving to, it's still definitely in the back of my mind, but no for sure decision as of now.
Yes, and we need to get you
Sorry
back to
to
Texas.
disappoint.
No big deal. We'll just get you back to Texas, and then you have plenty of time too, because you can be 28 now and compete. So we're good.
Exactly. Yeah, that's been my thought process too, is seeing how many title holders are even just starting in the organization at a little bit later of an age. It makes me reassured that there is so much more time, you know, and it's not a race against the clock, which is really nice.
So what do you think is the biggest, maybe defining moment that you've had in your life so far?
Oh my gosh. Well, when I was a teenager, I would definitely say that it was every opportunity I had in the Miss America organization. I mean, competing to getting to serve in all of the hospitals with meeting the most incredible children and getting to talk to the National Department of Transportation to get my organ donation education curriculum implemented in driver's ed schools across the country. I mean, they're just opportunities that it's so hard to pinpoint, like, oh, this moment felt like I made it. And what I'm learning through now having graduated college is that having those opportunities young in life and on a public stage are wonderful, but truly sometimes you don't get to fully take it in until a little bit later. And I feel like that's really been my experience with college as well. As I never saw myself going to a school like UCLA. I didn't think I could handle the competition. And just knowing that everyone there is so passionate about what they do, I always felt like, what if I don't have the same level of passion and I'm not able to keep up with, you know, my peers? And what I've really learned is that over time, the cycles you go through in life, all of those experiences build you up to be a stronger person, to be more capable to take on these challenges. And I'm just so lucky that I've had so many defining moments. I mean, I randomly decided to try out for my school's cheer team after 2 years of no sports because of COVID and everything like that. And when I made the team, it truly felt like, wow, I'm not married to this one idea of my life that is pageant competitions or academic success. It's okay to have multiple passions and to explore them, even if they may not lead to, you know, the most successful career path or fame and fortune. really taking the time to realize what it is in your life that brings you that much joy and pursuing it, even if it's just a temporary time, I have found to be so fulfilling. And even that cheerleading experience led me to have opportunities like getting to sing the national anthem in front of big arenas in my cheer uniform, which was so funny because it just felt like a crossover of lives. And I've even met so many girls too through UCLA who are now competing in the Miss America organization or other scholarship competitions, and getting to see women boost each other like that is just an experience that I never thought I would get to have outside of the competition setting. So it's really nice to know that that does exist outside of these programs, and you can find people who are very like-minded to you all over the world and in any field.
Okay, so why did you choose UCLA?
I actually really wanted to go to another school. I'll give you the raw details here, but when I was auditioning, because you have to send in several rounds of music auditions to become a performance student, I just felt like it was being so differently received. Some schools I was getting, fast forwarded through the audition process and invited straight out to the school, or the professor was coming to Dallas to watch my high school recital. And other schools I was turned away at the first level of audition. And it was a very, very confusing time. And every audition that I went through for UCLA just felt right.
Mm-hmm.
And having come from an arts high school and music being just such a huge part of my life for so long, I really felt called to have that university experience and meet people that I would have never met before, and try things that I wouldn't have the opportunity to do later in life, like cheerleading, and just really broaden my worldview, expose myself to people and ideologies that I may not have gotten in Texas. And it was absolutely the right choice for me. And there were plenty of times where I felt like, wow, I am a musician first, and the academic rigor at a school like UCLA is too much for me to keep up with. And especially during a time like COVID, I struggled at times, and it taught me a lot about the importance of letting go, asking others for help, reaching out and getting help when you need it. So huge, game changer, actually. And it just taught me so much about life and about my desire for putting myself in situations where I can do the best. I can do the best that I can do, and knowing what that looks like for me so that I can be confident just in my everyday life. And like I said, it takes a lot of trial and error. But eventually, when it comes down to it, I chose UCLA because I felt like it provided opportunity, not just career wise, but for me as a person to grow, to expand my views, and to ultimately have opportunities to do all of the things that I love instead of just putting myself in a box.
So were you in LA when the pandemic hit? And did you stay there?
Yes, great question. So I was graduating high school. So I'm a class of 2020 high school senior. And I mean, I remember when everything went online, like the day that it happened, we had left for spring break and then we just never came back.
Mm-hmm.
And this was one of the greatest setbacks for me. At the time, I definitely viewed it as a setback because I had done a few years of online schooling throughout middle school, and I had a really difficult time. I am someone that has dealt with ADHD my whole life and didn't really come to accept that that's just part of what I'm working with until later in high school. So having that only that online community and losing the sense of choir every day and opera practice every day and eating lunch outside with my friends was very, very difficult for me. And I realized that going ahead and moving to LA, and I'm so thankful my parents were very supportive of me too, moving to LA, getting a fresh start, and just starting my college experience off on the right foot. I'm so lucky that I was able to do that. So I ended up moving to LA to do Zoom school my freshman year of college, hoping that they would open the practice rooms and soon enough, we would get back to making music in person. And unfortunately, it didn't end up happening until about halfway through my sophomore year.
Oh my
But in that
gosh.
meantime, yeah. So it took a while, but in the meantime, I was able to join so many organizations that I wouldn't have otherwise. I joined my sorority, and that was something that I was pretty closed-minded to because I just didn't know if I was ready to jump back into something like that involved a lot of speaking and getting to know new people. And I just felt so lost with COVID. It just felt like I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And all of these plans that I had for myself are now getting disrupted. So where do I go from here? But thankfully, I was able to try some things out. I was able to join a lot of different clubs, too many that I wasn't able to keep up with when school got back to in person. But just trying everything out, giving myself space and peace and the power to try new things. And it worked out wonderfully. And like I said, I got to experience all of these sports for the first time that I'd never had in high school. And I got to experience living in LA and meeting so many different people and watching people, follow their dreams in real time. It's very inspiring. And so by the time we got back to school, vocally, I felt really ready. I was so excited to be singing again. Like I said, I joined the cheer team. Like it just became everything that I'd hoped for. And even though it was only a shorter amount of time that I got to have those experiences, just looking back and saying, wow, coming from COVID, doing Zoom school on the couch to where I am now, it's just, I'm just so thankful.
So if you could define winning, how would you define it? I mean, it looks like you've won a lot, but then I'm sure you've had your own set of rejection and failures, if you will. Like, how would you define winning?
Winning is the personal growth that you take away from every experience. I used to think winning was success, as I'm sure a lot of people do. Winning is a crown, a title, an acceptance into something. But really, at the end of the day, even if you achieve all of those things, you may not be taking away the lesson that is going to carry you further in life. And sometimes that lesson is how to get back up and overcome.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I really learned through COVID is that winning is not about success. It is not about a title. It is about what you take away from that experience that makes you a better, more confident, more caring person. And that's just going to take you so far in life.
Okay, so when you competed in the American system, you only competed for 2 years. First year you were at large, weren't you?
Yes.
And you were first runner up, which was ridiculously amazing. And then you came back and you won. So literally 3 pageants. What would you say was the secret, if there was one, of you being successful? I know we chatted about it before, but I don't know if you have the same answer now.
Absolutely. And quite frankly, a lot of what I learned that led to my success did come from you. And one of the things that you taught me that has stuck with me to this day is how important it is not to compare yourself to the person before or behind you or whatever it may be. I struggled, I don't know if you can remember, but I struggled so badly with my onstage question because all I could focus on is what did the girl right in front of me say? What did the girl right behind me say? And in every area of competition, all I was thinking about is how can I be better than the person before me? And what I learned from you is that really the true competition in a pageant or in any organization is being better than your previous self.
Right.
And that might sound cheesy, but the way it impacted the trajectory of my course, like in pageants and in life, had made a world of a difference. I mean, being able to stand on stage and be fully present and focused in the moment and focused on the legacy that I wanted to leave when I walked across the stage and the feeling that I wanted the judges and the people in the audience to have wiped away all of the comparison that I previously had. And I think it's what helped me so much with my confidence on stage and feeling more comfortable in sharing my story instead of what if it's not as impactful as the girl before me? And it truly made a world of a difference. And even now, like I can think about how many times whether it was in a cheer tryout or, before a big vocal jury or performance, just being like, oh my gosh, who did they hear before me? That's all they're going to be thinking about and just viewing everything in life, every challenge as a comparative competition. When I needed to realize that by just being there and comparing myself to my past self, I'd already grown so much. I'd already gained so much. And that's what was important to be focusing on, not other people, not what the judges might be dealing with in their personal life that could possibly be bleeding over into my audition. Just comparing where I am now to where I used to be and thinking about how amazing that already is to just be there and be present in that moment.
So when you think about the advice that you've been given along the way, is there a piece of advice that's outside of the comparison, obviously, but that has taken you so far, so that you're going to take with you forever?
For sure. I mean, I would definitely say another thing that you emphasize with me as well is getting to know yourself, writing down your goals and how you plan to achieve them, and acknowledging that there will be obstacles along the way. And that's again part of the growth journey. Getting to know myself, getting to a point where I can accept my differences with my ADHD or my differences in how I've had a different school experience. And a lot of it has been focused primarily on music, getting to know those things and embracing them and using that to your advantage in life, knowing why you operate the way you do, knowing where your most inner confidence comes from and what you can do to bring that light throughout your day. I mean, even just simple things for me, like gratitude has always been a huge one, and recognizing that I am so lucky to be where I am today, and also my hard work is what helps me get here. And just getting to know yourself, getting to know all of these little parts of you and what makes you unique as an individual, I think is amazing, because I can't even think about how many times I've seen someone on stage talking about something that they're passionate about. And even if it's something I have no idea and I can't relate to at all, you can just tell when the spark is really there. It transcends all barriers. And that's how I feel with music. Like being able to be part of an art form that has really no like language barrier or anything like that, and can effectively communicate with so many people without always the use of words is wonderful. And I think that's something that I try to implement into my life, just getting to know myself and thinking of life as a song and what I can do to make it as beautiful as possible for other people.
Ooh, so if your life is a song, what's the title?
Oh, that's a great question. I want to say something like go with the flow, even though that's it might be overused, but that is really important. I mean, adaptability, I think, gets you so far in life, and living with an open mind, maybe that's what I would title it. Just being open-minded to what other people have to say and what experiences they have to give, because it makes a world of a difference in how you're able to live your life to bring as much joy as possible to yourself and others. Because I'm a firm believer in, what you do to others is what you're also doing to yourself. And if you are helping someone, if you are sharing uplifting words with them, you are doing that to yourself as well. And I think that we can all practice that in our everyday life, and it makes a huge difference in self-confidence for me. I mean, there's so many people who are so successful in this world, but may not even necessarily feel that within themselves all the time. And I know that because I've been there.
Okay, so where are you headed? Like, what's next?
So I don't know exactly what's next, but what I do know is that whatever it is, I'm going to put my whole self into it. And I'm going to go in with a clear head, an open mind, and I'm going to relish in the experience that is learning. I always struggle, like I said, with ADHD, sometimes I struggled with
Mhm.
learning. Now I'm realizing that learning is one of our greatest gifts in life. Getting to have access to new information that builds us up as people is huge. And I really want to pursue more school, more education. So hopefully looking at some grad schools soon once I figure out kind of if I'm going to stay in LA or if I'm going to explore, another city. Um, and yeah, just staying open-minded and working hard for the goals that I have, but not losing myself along the way.
So, what did you bring from Texas to California?
Chale, oh, I love this question. Um, I would say the biggest thing is the hospitality. I do love some Southern hospitality. It means a lot to me, to go home and just see the the friendship among people and the
Mhm.
friendliness, and that's something you don't always have in a big city. And it's crazy because sometimes you'll be in a store or even a coffee shop, and you can tell when it's a lot of LA locals in there, like they come around pretty often. And even just saying like, "Hey, I like your shirt," or what coffee did you get? Is it good? Like it looks really good. I mean, people sometimes are so taken aback that someone has noticed their existence, and usually it leaves them with such a huge smile on their face. And I wish that is something we had more of in big cities for sure, because I definitely miss that about Texas.
Maybe you should start a movement. Like, just like to
Yes,
ask people, how are you doing? Where'd you get that
yeah.
shirt? What coffee are you drinking?
Yes, absolutely. And you see so many small businesses and things like that in LA of primarily women trying to promote more friendship among each
Hmm.
other and trying to prevent or trying to promote conversation, because it's something that we lose with, being on social media all the time and things like that. Just day-to-day conversation can get lost, sadly. So, yeah, I want to build that up as much as possible.
Well, since I know that a lot of people that probably watch this know you from when you were competing, so give one or two tips for girls who are about to compete their state competition. One or two quick tips.
Practice your talent in front of a wide variety of audiences. Find the biggest stage you can, or even if that's just at the park,
Hmm.
say, "Hey, can I perform my talent for you in front of as many people as you can?" It will help so much to overcome with stage fright, which is something again that I dealt with, not even thinking I'd ever had stage fright before, and then about to walk out on stage, and all of a sudden it just hits you. So practice the talent in front of as many people as you can. And then this kind of goes along with what I was saying earlier about knowing yourself, but write down your goals, write down your experiences, journal, work with obviously someone like you who harnesses in the mental aspect of all of this, and really focus in on your mind and what positive things you can gain from that experience, no matter how it goes.
Awesome. I'm excited to spend more time with you for our Patreon members. If you're not a Patreon member, join She Wins Solutions for Pageantry Patreon, because London and I are going to go into a deeper dive on how she was so successful in pageantry, grabbing that Miss America's Outstanding Teen title for Texas, only the second time in history. Awesome. I'm excited to get to know more. London, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Heather.